Hey guys, how's it going? Aussie Crasher here. Just going to jump in quickly before we start this episode to let you know that this was actually recorded nearly a year ago. It's taken a bit of time just because there's been a few projects which have gone on for both myself and Orby. But I promise you the wait is worth it. So please enjoy.
We came to get wild and get buck. Came to rock the house and get drunk. From the floor to the ceiling, go nuts. And he sounded
How are you guys doing? Is it it's morning now for you, Josie?
It is almost midday and it is fucking hot.
Oh,
That's all I can
really?
say.
How hot is it?
32 Celsius.
Wow.
How cold's it there for you now? At least you guys should have some good snow coming down, right?
Yeah, it's around 0.
Oh, that's fair. That's a perfect temperature.
Yeah, it should be. I think it's a waste of seasons. It should be like or -10 or +10.
True,
0,
actually.
Slushy, no, like there's no snow. So when it's 0 in spring, then you can spring ski or something.
Yeah.
But at this time of the year, there's nothing to do.
There's not enough.
Look what I've done today.
Oh, is that your backyard?
Oh.
Actually, that's my front yard. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Just
Yeah.
flex into the rest of the street right there.
Is that more
Everybody's stopping in front of the house to look what's happening.
for you or for the kids?
Yeah, that's the question. Look, I don't know if it's too dark, but this was before I did the.
Wow, that's a decent size.
That's dude, they're actually better than the boards we have at the freaking rinks in Australia. Like honestly.
They're based on buildings we're doing for ice cross, obviously.
You gotta test it somehow.
Easy, solid, or how solid it can be sometimes,
So where's the drop-ins? I thought you'd have a sneaky little into the side there, just off the roof down and.
Oh, but I usually build because obviously that's the first year I'm doing an ice rink on the yard because I'll be here, and if I start something like that in the last years, I would not have time to maintain it and always fighting against what happened the last weeks or days, and then I'm here like for 36 hours. So it doesn't make sense. But now as I'm here, I decide. But what I was doing in the previous years was a slide starting from exactly where the rink stands and goes all around the house and end up at the back corner of the land all the way back. And then that makes a 100 meters long slide for the kids.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Man, Pap, can you just adopt me so I can just move over there, please? Like, goddamn. I need to live in a winter country.
Back there.
I'll sleep in a
Pat,
garage.
you
I don't
want
care.
him over there.
Yeah.
Knowing anything from Australia, they're the ones that started COVID, so we're gonna stay far away.
True.
We're talking about you can't start COVID when you live in a freaking house of toilet paper. What are you talking about?
How was seeing Jacqueline the other weekend? Was that good?
Yes, it was. It was like I can't. That was a true feeling of connecting with all of you. To be like, I kind of disconnect, and obviously over summer you're still connected to the sport. I'm working a lot, but I'm not there with the real people. But this year, obviously, it's something special as we didn't end up the last season, and this summer was kind of what's going to happen, and it was a real connection with, and even like overall personal life is kind of out of range. So that was quite intense internally. I didn't open it with her because there was photographs and I didn't care about these guys.
Right.
But, they would understand anyway. They would not understand.
Well, I felt the same way when we pulled up to Cam's house. He was out in the driveway. The Red Bull people were already there. He was talking to them. And then when Kale and I got out of the car with the trophy, his eyes lit up and he's like, "Oh, guys, I had no idea you guys were coming. Like, what the heck?" So
Yeah, these days, as much as further I am from it, as better I can feel. It's just like more we're coming through the season, or the season where season should start. Like it's heavier somehow. But yeah, hopefully it's only this season, and we go through it with what we can do, and then next thing is you guys are all back. 'Cause
exactly.
that's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid of maybe some will just disconnect, or maybe they're getting at a certain, not age but time of life. Like you express it. It's not things that you get rewards. I mean, you have your own rewards, but financially, for most of you, it costs more than you get back. And when you get family, house, da 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 in the loop, then it can, and no, I mean, no offense, but it makes sense as well that your priority change at some point. So um yeah, so I think maybe for the older ones, maybe we, hopefully not, I mean, far away from me, but that's what I'm afraid of, that we're going to lose some good writers, and yeah, experimented ones that as well are good leaders, and yeah.
Well, what we lose in riders, we may make up in coaches and teachers and people who want to promote the growth of the sport in their own countries. So, and maybe them not traveling every year to do the tour will give them more time to do stuff at local rinks and stuff in their hometown cities. So, I think as long as we can keep the passion, I think that's a big thing.
Yeah, true. Agree with you, and I think that's what needs to happen, and what seems to happen at some point. Because let's say my generation of writers it was just an happening. It was not a sport really at the time, so it was just something that people were doing to party and have good stories for their buddies back home. And now,
right,
it's more something that you commit into, and then it becomes your thing. It becomes you. You become an ice cross rider, and that's part of your life. And then like the skiers, like the hockey players, you give back to your community afterward, and hopefully, and I as far as I can see now, that's already what's happening. So that's the way the sport would grow, really, like the real good way, the grassroots things.
You can't just rock up to an event anymore, Pap, and then just kind of have some beers and go down a track, because you've really pushed the envelope on what's physically possible. And if you just spend a whole weekend drinking and try and go on a track, like, you'll end up on a backboard in the back of an ambulance. So, like, you really have to prepare yourself for these tracks these days, which actually I think's been really good, because it's just taken it out of I feel like a sideshow, and it's actually made it an event that you can see takes the skill and the time and the effort to get down it in one piece, and to see some of the guys make it look so effortless. Like, even though I know how much I train, and I still watch the guys, the top guys, just make it look like it's a piece of cake. Like, I can't even imagine how much time and effort that takes to get it to that level.
Yeah, but I mean, I understand what you mean, but as well, in one way, you should be proud of what you're doing, and you should understand that your perseverance is well respected in the group. That's clear. Your commitment, your perseverance, your achievements over the last year is something. If you have done it for 2 years and quit, then we would remember. I'm extrapolating here, but you would be recognized as, hey, you remember the Aussie who was coming for partying, and then he disappeared because it was too hard for him. But reality is not like that. I mean, you're there and you're performing, and you're getting better. Your results as well are getting better.
So
your results speak for themselves,
slowly but surely. But again, like the sport is like, I've never felt anything like being on that track. And it's something that, like, I've honestly tried to find elsewhere, doing like street luge and stuff like that, downhill inline, and even that stuff, it just doesn't compare. the adrenaline levels aren't there. Like the atmosphere's not there. The crowd's not there. The other athletes aren't the same. Like this sport is just something entirely different. And I've never found it elsewhere. And I think that's just why it keeps dragging me back. I try and escape, and I just keep getting dragged back in. Not that I don't
mean,
mind.
just think of
love
that.
it.
Literally, you could be playing hockey, you could be skiing, you could be snowboarding, you could be downhill biking, you could be on a half pipe, you could be on a skate park, you could be doing any numerous amount of things. And all of the guys who do ice cross have done those things. And ice cross keeps us coming back because it's something different and it's something unique. It truly is.
Nope.
Not wrong right there.
And especially for you, it's even more complicated somehow to reach the sport because it's not something you can find somewhere close from where you're living. So
what do you mean? A 30-hour flight? That's just normal these days. What are you talking about?
True.
Hey, there's no flat ice qualifiers anymore either. It's makes it a little bit more difficult for sure.
Yeah, to reach those spots where there's tracks and
those were the good old days though. Those were really some good times. You get like 200 guys in an ice rink. You just try to see who the fastest people are. You get some characters out of that.
But yeah, true. But it was not like the real way or the good way to bring the right guys in the sports because flat ice. I mean, we have the stats. If I remember well, the last year we've done that. For example, in Canada, out of 11 cities, because there was a year with 12, but with 11 cities, 6 of the first one of each cities didn't even make the top 64. So it was useless to get these guys in the course.
Yeah.
So that's why we were really pushing hard and tried to change that as quick as possible. But that was a major step to be able to achieve actually, because how do you reach those guys if you don't have those flat ice? Because then you need to create tracks. Because back, even when did we start? 2014 with the Riders Cups.
Yep, that sounds right.
So there was no other races or tracks than the crashed ice at the time. Mm-hmm. So there was no other way to. So we needed to get something for as much people as possible, and it ended up with the Riders Cup. I think the first year we already had 5 races, if I'm right. There was Bathurst or Moncton, I don't remember. Sherbrooke, and Modulac, Afton Alps. The first year was
Afton Alps.
Marco and Luca were doing one.
The very first time at Wagrain.
Yes, true. And then there was one in Finland, but I don't remember if maybe it was Jyväskylä as a Riders Cup.
I'm like, Jyväskylä's a Riders Cup? That's a long fucking track
for
that many points.
Well, it used to be before we get there. It used to be a Riders Cup. We were in Serena before.
It's been weird. Finland was one of those tracks where when I was going there the last 3 or 4 years, it was always just such a hassle to get there, and everybody complained about the travel. And then now we haven't been there in 2 years, and I miss it.
I miss it so much. Finland is so fantastic. Such a beautiful place.
When you have something, you don't realize you have it, right?
Exactly. You take it for granted.
So it was 2015, the first season.
Oh my goodness.
So it was Afton Alps in January 15 in St. Paul right after. Then Wagrain, then Jyväskylä as a Riders Cup.
And then Edmonton, right?
And then Belfast.
Oh,
with the Dutch mountains?
Dutch mountains.
Oh yeah.
And really warm weather.
And then Sherbrooke, and then Edmonton to close the season.
With the big floater, the first big
floater and 90-degree turn that we went into the cooling system.
The 180, yeah, true. In the morning, Saturday morning. It was I think it was Tristan who broke it. So let's put the blame on him.
Actually, you actually pierced the tubing.
and started shooting up through
Oh
through the
no!
ice. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you were not aware of that?
No, that was the season before I started. That I didn't know you actually pierced into it. That had been.
They were coming like
Yes.
really fast in that, and then coming through 180 on flat, and then there was, this braking zone always constant, the same area, and then slowly they scrape out the ice, shaved it, and like dig into it till a piece of like maybe that big, like a foot for sure, more than the feet, but I would say 2 foot long, so like 60 centimeters long by, I don't know, 20, 30 centimeters wide chunk of ice. And it was in the morning, and we needed to obviously race at 5 or 6 in the afternoon. So we had like 10 hours, not even, like I would say 8 hours or something to fix it and make sure that it will last for the whole evening.
That would have been. I can't even imagine how much orange paint would have been on that ice. That would have been fucking nuts.
There was so much pressure there. Every heat, because obviously again we had the discussion of what do we do? Do we cut it to top 32 to start? Because how long will it last? But the fact in this case was it would just get worse until the point that it will break, and this will be the end of it. So we needed to evaluate and based on our experience and feelings of what this ice will stand or will hold and how long it will hold. And then every I was in the OB van, I was
like and sure enough, no issues the entire event.
And like if someone was falling in the first part way back forward in this zone, I was like, fuck, don't brake hard in this area. Like, you don't care about you braking there, Like it's not like, don't waste this braking chance that maybe will help us to keep it alive till the end. So, but yeah, that was an interesting one.
Well, here I'll crack this open here. Did you get your Red Bull going there, Aussie? Since it's in the morning for you, right?
It's midday, so at least I can.
Okay, I'll fake it on my side.
All right, cheers, Red Bull. I like it. You always got to have one on.
Cheers to the reason we all know each other.
Exactly, right? From around the world.
The guy's crazy enough to put the money onto a track so we can go and hurt ourselves.
Well, you started, the world tour in 2012, right? That kind of
World Championship?
Yeah.
2010.
2010. Damn.
Yes.
So it's already been 10 years of doing it.
Yes. Actually, it's been 11 years.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Because 2010, yeah, maybe we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, 11 because the 2010 is the end
2009.
of the season. So it starts in 2009. So it's the 11th year. No. Yeah,
well, see,
that was my 10th years as a sport director last year. The first season of the World Championship I was racing.
Mm-hmm.
And then so that's why I remember well. And, yeah.
Perfect, Pap. Absolutely perfect.
Yeah. So what were you about to say, Ozzy?
Oh, I was going to say, yeah, before so Pat, before we get into the big first question for the day, what trophies you got hiding behind you there? You had a little bit of a cabinet happening?
Yeah, is that a world championship trophy to the left?
So this is a gift from Hartu. He won Quebec City. I think it's 212. So the year he won the world championship, but he had too many trophies already. I don't know them. And I give it to you.
Terrible problem to have.
So this is actually exactly my 10th anniversary as sport director. So and then here is Team Challenge LCT 215.
Forgot about Team Challenges. Oh, they were.
Yes.
Yeah, they were a riot.
I removed it because usually it's right here, and I felt like it was
just a bit of a flex.
as well.
Oh my God.
Riders Cups, Team Challenge #1, Landgraf, 2013. Then
Showing off the hardware.
Quebec City, 214. St. Paul, 215. Finland, 216.
Holy crap.
Vieux Quebec, 16. 17, 18, St. Paul.
Well, you see that I guess that's the best thing about having you as sport director, is you've been through the sport and through so much of it. You know exactly what it's like to compete and how hard it is, and just having that, I guess, insight on kind of like the decision making makes such a huge difference in the sport. And what other sport can have a director that has that much hardware? Come on.
I don't know. Yeah, but that's cool. That's memories. And this one is there especially because we had. Were you racing, TJ, at that time?
I think so. Yeah. Yep.
So it was at Serena. We were live international. There was and then we got postponed a bit, if I remember well, for whatever reason. The temperature the days prior the race was not so good, so they couldn't raise the ice super thick. It was natural ice there, and then there was big holes growing in one of the turn with ice speed turn, and Reed fell through one of those holes.
Oh,
and I decided I was about to shut it down because I thought it was super dangerous, even though we were warning you at the start. And it wasn't a hidden turn, like inside turn, you couldn't see it coming. And that was the race line. If you go outside of that line, outside turn, I mean, it was anyway. So I decided to shut down the training, the qualifiers, and then that was war behind the scene. That was war, like because for you, like it's like, yeah, well, why don't we race? The track is there, we are here, let's do it. Yeah, but reality is the communication team managed to get live TV in major networks, and obviously we're not like NFL during the playoffs or Super Bowl, so we say we start at 7:30 and we're done at 9, and that's it. If we postpone, obviously we don't use any slot. We need to extend or to even change it totally. So it was like, no way, we can't do that. We lose all spots, and then we're done for the future as well for whatever other events, because networks will be pissed. And late, like an hour in advance, they need now to find something to put in that hole and blah blah blah. I was like, well, yeah, but no. This is what I did. Like, the guys are back in the locker room. It's not happening, and it was hell. And then even more than that with the communication team, but then there was few important people from Fushel as well that weekend, which is not always like that. And obviously they don't care about what's happening outside. They just care about the outcomes. So you don't have to know all the assholes we have there. You just need to know if it was good or not at the end of the day. But they were there and they were involved somehow. And so it was a freaking evening. And then, so that's why I kept that one. And then you don't see it. I don't know if you see it. You see the, here. The plate, there's okay, I'll get it.
Oh, there is. Okay, just behind it. Oh my gosh.
Does that ring a bell to you?
It's synthetic ice.
It's a piece of something
that's not Marseille, is it?
That's not so this is on Sunday morning when I walked out of the hotel, I tell the guys, hey, I need a piece of that shit.
So hold on, you're keeping that and you didn't want to give it to Dan Whitty?
Oh, I give it to him if he wants to. I don't feel like you would like to have a piece of it.
I don't think he wants to remember that at all.
No, exactly.
Right there.
Ooh, that was a bad video. I remember that one, I think.
I think everyone was crowded up at the start ramp trying to see what was going to go down. Everyone was so excited, and then it happened, and everyone just like, ooh, okay. But you got the team in. You got the team in, and they made magic happen. Like, they were just nonstop working on that, and it turned into something that was like it brought it back. It pulled it back, and it was actually kind of interesting to see some of the guys try and deal with the synthetic ice. Just another little curveball for the sport.
In 24 hours, it was fixed.
Yep.
Less than that.
Yep.
We didn't have any suppliers on the line. We had nothing prepared for that.
And just think,
manage it, and they manage it like we could find something. They drove overnight from Spain. By the times the guy were building the substructure, and then they just need to unroll the mat, or and even I was calling from suppliers in Canada which were working with European ones. Like at that time it was 9 p.m. So how could you find someone open or to answer their phone
But I mean, whatever you learned from there definitely paid off, because we had to do the same thing in Pralou, France.
We could test at some point, and actually, yes, because there's so many things running. So again, from behind the scene, you guys are standing by, and you're like, "Oh shit, what's gonna happen now?" Like, I don't want to drop that, or how can I drop that without like face
killing
planting?
myself,
doing a witty,
yeah. And then, but again, behind the scene, there was a lot going on, and a lot changed from that day, and a lot happened, and a lot was whatever, that was.
I know, which is
guys
just
have the challenge to face each other in the race and compete, but there's real competition behind the scene as well every weekend.
It's like us princess of athletes here just want to come up to a track and skate it. And we're like, as soon as it's not pristine condition, everyone starts bitching. But there's a lot that goes into it. Honestly, I'm just happy sometimes to get on a track. Like, there is so much that goes behind the scenes of these things. And I don't know if everyone quite understands that actually watches the sport. Like, these tracks take months to build. I think Boston was like 4+ weeks to get the track up. Like,
that's just the build. The planning takes years in advance.
Yeah, like that is just the build. There's a whole design that just getting everything organized that no one sees. All they see is that hour and a half clip on Red Bull TV, and then they think that's it. But there is a whole production behind the scenes that honestly, like, I am thankful that it works so well, honestly, because there are sports that if you had something like that happen, the whole thing would be shut down for the weekend. So it's quite impressive what you guys managed to pull out of the bag at some of the toughest times. And honestly, incredibly thankful for how hard you guys work on the weekend to make sure we have something to skate on at the end of the day.
Don't tell me now you have the tribune or the podium to tell everyone who's involved in that team, because obviously it's a teamwork, like massive teamwork. I would never take credit on my own for those things. There's no lonely man who can do that. I'm the messenger to get the good message and the bad ones as well. The bad ones I keep, the good ones I always forward.
I don't know if you ask Ollie who's the man in charge, he'll tell me it was him. So. Do love you, Ollie, as much as you hate me.
Before we get too far, Chris, we do need you to tell everybody kind of where you're from, some of your hobbies outside of the ice cross world, and just kind of your sports background, how you got involved into ice cross downhill.
Yeah, so I'm from Quebec City, so you guys visit Quebec City a few times already. I'm born and raised here. Lucky me.
Snack bar.
That's a beautiful city. Calm, but as well with all entertainment you can find. With a city center, with a whole town, with yeah, like I said, all entertainment, cultural, sportive, entertainment, like music shows and stuff like that, and as well you're kilometers away from nature and do whatever you want backcountry as well. So that's um, that's that's amazing. Actually, I realized all that after traveling for many years, realizing that this town is cool because of that, and then this city is cool because of that, and this area part of the globe is cool. And then you go back home and you get pretty much all that in a small area, and so yeah, really thankful to grow up here, and obviously that's one of the reasons why we're still living here. We planned many times to move somewhere else, but yeah, a family, but as well as the city itself keep this here. So yeah, Quebec City, beautiful city
I love Quebec City.
for sport and challenges, but as well for enjoying life in general.
Yeah, your hobbies outside of ice cross. What are some things you like to do that maybe are the non-athletic? I know you're a family man, so.
Yeah, now, yeah, since 5 years and a half. Yeah, not that I've never been a family guy, but have kids now since 5 years and a half, more or less, with Tom. I guess you both know him. He traveled and came a few times.
He's been on the tour a couple times.
Yes,
He has.
yes. Actually, his first year, it was 6, was even 5 months, I think. The first trip he did in was it? So first race was Quebec City in November, and then he traveled to Munich. He went
And
to
then St. Paul,
I
if
went
I'm not
into all crash
mistaken.
ice, but as well
Yeah.
to what was the one in France on top of the Léger, on top of Léger was
Avoriaz.
Laborias. Yes,
Yes,
he came to that
yes.
race too, and it was in Finland as well. He did the whole trip to Finland. So
What a trooper.
What a hard life growing up, just following ice cross around. Jeez Louise.
yeah, that was the deal. That was the deal because yeah, whatever. But it was yeah, it was perfect traveling. Like it was easy kid, and
Is there plans to get him on some skates and see how he goes on the track at some point? Because I know Whitty's had his kids up at the Lac a couple times, and they were sending those doubles. Like they were doing the
Yes.
stuff that some of the adults
That
can't
was
do, and
sick.
it was just amazing because they are so small and that gap is so big. They look in the air for days. Like it was ridiculous.
Good. I should go. All right. Yeah, wheels. Take your time, bud. Remember, jump. Oh, you hit it all the way.
Yeah, those kids, they look good actually, but obviously they're growing like, and that's you guys now are creating for the next generation. They can see you from a super young age and dream about being there one day, and as well at the same time they're looking at, oh, he's jumping there, oh, he's coming that fast, oh, he's doing this. So they're learning as well about the aspect of the sport. So it will be easier for them to reproduce that quickly. So I'm not surprised that the Wheaties kids are already that good, you know. Obviously with good tips from the brothers, you know, father and uncles, and so Tom as well. He wants to, obviously every weekend he was listening at the races from home with mom and my parents, and cheering every races for whoever, you know. He knows he got his favorites, but he was cheering for all races. So he skated a bit the track in Fenway last year.
Mhm.
Oh,
Years ago already.
Yeah,
Wow.
he sat down next to Reed and Cam, I think, down towards the finish line, and they helped him with the skates, if I'm not mistaken.
was Cox stole
Yeah.
him.
Yep.
Cox stole him, and he started even from the deck, like the last drop in from the 180 corner.
Yep.
Was doing the whole section from there to the 20. Yeah. But like soon, I guess. Next year it'll be fine to skate down a track or an easy one or easy part of those tracks. But what am I? What? So yes, kids are more or less involved, but we've been always involved in events and let's say not 9 to 5, 5 days a week jobs, me and my wife. So the kids follow as well this rhythm. So they're good with events, with people, with action, and they're that keeps our life quite, let's say, easy or not too difficult, as they're already have both already have their that that rhythm, or that routine, which is not a routine actually. um, and that's what you need to do with them if you want them to follow your pace. If you change your pace for them, then you change the pace of your life in general. So that's when you're not able to continue what you were doing before, or to follow up with your normal life before. Obviously kids would change your life, but if you make your life exciting, they will follow you into your challenges and trips or whatever else. So that's what we've done as well over the last 5 years. Traveling every year with Tom. He's already pretty good at planning and finding good spots to have fun, and he always wants to go to the beach, do some paddle and paddleboard, and enjoying life in general. So that's the family life, let's say it like this. Overall, obviously, I was during winter a lot gone during winter time, less than before kids, because when before I had kids, I was most of the time staying in between two races or two location checks, or I was planning differently. Since I have kids, I'm as much as possible passing by home before going somewhere else. um, and but in general it didn't affect too much, or hopefully you can't see that it did affect my work at some point. If you say you never realized, then I'm good with what the way I've done
I
it.
had no idea. I mean, honestly, time
So
flies.
I do know you're a family man, but I am gonna have to ask. Will you do a shoey?
Look, guys, I got something. Like this is what you can see up here. There's as well. Let's see. Let's see.
Oh,
Oh,
So a young guy like Aussie, maybe you don't know the Papillon's blade,
I'm sorry.
the butterfly signature.
I snapped a set of your steels in Mont de Lac a couple years ago, and I hit up as soon as
butterflies.
the butterflies, the black steps butterflies. Don't worry,
Yep.
I have some sets. But they don't make them anymore, which annoys me because I actually loved skating on those bad boys.
These are in a.
Oh, look at that.
Yep. I got a couple that are in half, unfortunately.
So
Yeah.
sexy.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'll
And
send it
then,
to you if you want.
These were the skates I was developing prototypes with. With those, now they all have these easy, quick blades.
Ugh. Gross.
Yeah, but these were the easiest one, and super solid actually. I was really playing and even skating down the track with those, so I kept it for you guys.
Are those 20Ks?
Yes.
Oh, that's such a good skate. That was one of my favorite skates.
Yeah, I never used that one actually. But,
Yeah, that's still fresh. It'll still pop if you press it.
I don't know. I don't like, actually, I'm skating loose. I don't like, this is the way I tied it up. I never tied higher than this rivet.
That makes a lot of sense for ice cross though, because you do need to get a lot lower, so you're leaning a lot more forward against the tongue there. So like a lot of people, if they tie it away at the top, you're quite straight up in your ankle, and it can throw you off a bit. But I do see a lot of guys that don't do the top up.
But I'm wondering then, maybe it's a matter of style. You know, if you go with like more like ski boots, not like the skater, but you know the
not like Kevin ski boots, but
yeah, exactly. But maybe I mean I think that some might love to be strapped on and you know tight on the ankle, but I never skate even playing hockey since I'm young. Like always, super loose ankles, super loose in the skates. Only the bottom part here, the laces. So I loved a lot when they came out, when they came with those
stupid lace lock
kind of, so I could tie it up the lower part and get the top super loose. Yeah. So yeah. So that's sure.
Attaboy.
There you go. Let's see it. You got to dump it in there.
Hey, like a good event guy. I brought something.
Oh, I'm prepared as well. He's definitely an organizer, isn't he? He knows everything to bring.
I'm trying my best. And this is a snow wolf.
Ooh.
Oh, that looks good.
Yeah.
Oh.
Comes
Lager?
from friends of mine. We got his microbrewery close by.
Ooh.
So super good stuff. Yeah.
IPA.
This one is India lager.
Ooh,
There's an IPA right there, which I'll drink after that one, obviously, because I need more than one.
It's funny, I'll tell you, Trunzo came prepared too. She had a towel and everything, and she spilt all over her computer. And
I'm sure it happened as well, because I look at the shape of my skate here.
It's
and
not looking good.
It's not going into my mouth. All like I need to clean the shirt and shit.
If you come out from a skatey clean, you're definitely doing it wrong.
Yeah, probably. I think I'll go like sideways here.
Good luck, Pap. Cheers.
Cheers. Yes.
That is
the
there.
cleanest one we've seen.
That is class right there. I'm not gonna lie, that looks like a man that's drunk out of a shoe before.
Now it's leaving from the rivets of me, but that's pretty normal.
Oh, that's the first action that skate has seen in years.
So yeah, done.
That was actually impressive.
I was expecting it. I was wondering if you guys would really ask me to do it. Actually,
do you expect anything less? Have you seen the footage from the after parties? Like it happened. It just happens. Like it's. I'm gonna force everyone to do it at least once before I leave this sport. So I guess everyone that does follow the sport mightn't actually know if they've just jumped on recently that you're used to compete and you do kind of do a lot of the work behind the scenes. Any social media plugs or anything you want to throw on that the guys can follow you from some of the behind the scenes action?
Yeah, if people want. I'm not too much a social media guy. I mean, I have all those things, but I'm not like, if you look for daily entertainment, I'm not the right guy. But I do think that what I'm sharing, when I'm sharing something, is interesting in a way. Yeah. So I think, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think my Instagram is chrispappy52.
That sounds right.
And on Facebook, I'm just myself as Christian Papillon.
If you know our show, Papillon, you know how professional we are here. We do our research. That sounds about right.
Well, okay, yeah. Good. I'm not.
Yeah, that's entirely correct. Yep, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
The magic of live. Yeah. But you would never get some scoop or news like, oh, look at Papillon Instagram is now in this country, so we may have a race in the next months there.
Oh, you say that, but you've posted you traveling somewhere before. I'm like, oh, what's going on here? And then there's something been in that country. You say there's no scoops, but you pop it out every now and then.
Yeah, if you see something from somewhere on my social media, I'm sure it's not related to something professional. I'm not, like And anyway, like we discussed a bit about it, like how complicated it is to pull out those events in those areas as well. The thing is, it's not only like, hey, let's get somewhere where they want to host us. We're looking for a special environment, and those special environment needs a lot of work and time as well to make it happen. So and sometimes we work many months and it never happens. So obviously we're not providing or sharing what we're working on because we don't know. We want to make sure when it's announced, it's happening. Yeah. So yeah, but there is still interesting content, I guess, on my social media. So
Well, for one, you better start posting up more of that front yard rink because I wanna see how that
yeah,
develops across
I
winter.
will. Obviously, I will. It's not over yet, and I will not. Again, I will not show something which is not done and
Yeah.
published. But yeah, you'll see the whole thing. It will be um, red line, blue lines, full lights on.
You know the
Yeah,
annoying thing? Your front yard rink is gonna be better than any rink I've skated in Australia. Like it's not even funny. Like, that's bullshit.
and it seems like I don't know actually. What are the temporary rules around COVID this time in your countries, guys? But here, we won't be able to play. Most probably, we won't be able to play hockey on the outdoor rinks. So this
Nope.
might become one of the most research or people. All my friends suddenly will call me back again. That's
We're gonna start a rink building company now.
Well, it's funny you say that because I was going to say once COVID restrictions end, I was hoping AubyNAussie was going to receive an invite and we can go do an episode from the front yard.
actually you can whenever you want. You can come here. There's a room where you guys can sleep. The only thing is you will need to stay 14 days in that room before being able to hang around in the country because of the quarantine. But other than that, I guess I'm pretty sure there's no.
I can't be around Aussie for more than 10 days, so I don't know if that's going to work.
Well, I can't even leave my country because they won't let me. So you got your plenty of time to go there first, TJ. It's fine. I'll catch up when I can.
So stay out there and play on your ugly or trashy ice rink.
Oh,
Maybe
it's
TJ
so
can-
bad. I can't believe that Australia has ice rinks. I got to get back to Canada somehow. I just need and any Canadians listening that have single sisters, please, like I need to marry someone so I can get a Canadian passport, please. I really just need I just need to live there. It's fine. Like I know I'm not good to look at, but I swear I'm an idiot, so I'll do anything.
But let's say there's someone who wants to marry you. When will you be able to leave your country to move over here? That's the question.
That sounds like a problem that I'll figure out when I get to it.
Leave legally or leave illegally?
Yeah. I'll just post myself. It's fine. I'll just couple his hats in a box and see what happens. Just jump in with him.
And obviously he's been racing a little bit, but he's been sport directing
4 years,
most
yeah.
of the time, right?
Yeah.
What would you say would be a funny story or memory that you remember either from your time racing or from sport directing that just sticks in your head that you'll never forget? There's too many.
Do I want to embarrass myself right now by telling those stories that not everybody knows or not too many people knows? I don't know, man. Over the years, I've seen so much. I took some notes, but it goes from being on like around the track, seeing like nervous riders. What I do, yeah, wow.
Okay, so it's got to
as a rider, I've Crash Ice at the time starts in 2001 in Stockholm, just to try like that, and then it goes for a few more years, and then it was only always one race a year, and they were never coming back to the same town or to the same country really. And then they stopped by Quebec in 2006. Um, and I knew some people working for Red Bull at the time, and they knew my background and um, my background in sport, so hockey, motocross, snowboard, and it was like, yeah, might be a good fit for you. And but I was working in Toronto at the time. I was like, yeah, I won't be able to make it that weekend, and so yeah, sorry, but I'll pass. And then I was able to make it, and few friends of mine were in, so I traveled back to Quebec to see the race. I was in the stands, or on the, and at the time the race was where we did it the last 2 years. So from the La Fontaine de Tourny over the wall all the way back to the square, right? So that was the same, well, not the same, but the same area mainly where the track was. And I was standing on top of the wall. I was like, oh my god, what did I miss? Because it will never come back. What a shame. I was ashamed of myself missing that opportunity to just to raise down that thing. And then they announced a few months later that they will come back, and I was like, okay, nothing will happen to make me miss that moment again. And I was back in Quebec. Our company had many plans around the country, so I was back in Quebec. And obviously, the day of it was flat ice qualification at the time, and you needed, in the country here was crazy, like how many people were registering for that. So they were at the first years, it was first come first serve. So first to register, you're in the first 200 to register. And as the race was in Quebec, obviously a lot of people in Quebec area, Montreal, knew about it, so not a lot were prepared for that. I was like, okay, no chance I will miss that. And then one day it was supposed to start at 12:15, and the day of the opening of the registration it was supposed to open at 12, and then I look at my watch, it was 1 p.m. I was like, what date are we? uh, I was sitting in the chairlift of a ski resort snowboarding. I was like, holy shit, I missed the registration. And then I start calling friends, can you register me? And they were trying it. It was already low, like it was already
Oh
booked. Like,
no.
oh shit. So I missed that opportunity, but never give up, like you guys, always trying to find solutions. uh a friend of mine who was registered, because the job couldn't make it to the qualifier, we contact the people from Red Bull locally here, and then they accept the switch, because there's always few guys who never showed up. So said, yeah, instead of having or missing people, like, yeah, let's get. And then obviously I qualified that day and could get myself in for the my first race in 2007.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
and then yeah, so you know, yeah, and then performed quite well. It was I ended fifth. It was actually 2006, by the way, for those like the new guys, like I would say you, like not like old fart like me, but like relatively young like you. Maybe you don't even know that Gabe Andre won 2006 Quebec
Yeah.
City.
Yep.
He was the very first guy who dethroned Jasper
Jasper.
Felder for Sweden, who won all first six events of Red Bull Crash Ice around the globe. So, so he's the whole fart on the tour now, but this guy deserves a lot of respect because he did dethrone the one and only one Jasper Felder, the king of the time of the first era of Crash Ice. So that's what he achieved that year. The second year was Kevin Olsen, KO, from as well Alberta, who won in Quebec. And then my first year actually, so he won. I finished fifth. I think Gabe was as well again on the podium that year. Uh, and then the three of us flew to Finland few weeks after. for the first race downtown Helsinki. And then, like I explained, there was no world championship at the time, so no points, no. You were
Just a
racing
hobby.
for the honor, for the respect of the other ones, and that was
Yep.
it. And then when we flew, for all of us, it was first trip outside of the country, jet lag, let's party, and then yeah, let's survive the party the next day.
And Finland of all places, Finland parties hard. So that is the place to go if you're gonna go for your first international party. That is, you just be lucky you're alive now, honestly.
I think that's part of their plan to make us flew out there, and then to race against us. Like, we're losing at least 10 to 25% of our strength or capacity to compete. And
Yep.
yeah, but yeah, the first night was a crazy party. Couldn't even walk till like 5 p.m. While we had the first training. There was an activity like riders. I don't know. I don't even know what they've done because I never showed up. I think it was the real Scandinavian spa or something, like the real
Yep.
experience that I never reached. Um, yeah, and then in the evening it was a shorter planning back in the days, so it was more like a short training, maybe 1 or 2 runs, then directly shoot out or time trials at the time, and then it was Friday, and then the next day it was racing, I think, or something like that. It was super not super short. Like, you didn't have time to really learn the track, but the track as well. The tracks were not that complicated neither back in the day. So qualified like, I don't know, 24th or something, and
Not
then
too bad.
raced with won the first race. Second race I was with Jasper, and me and Jasper talked together, saying like, "Hey, we talk to each other on the track. Okay, if I'm behind you, I'm telling you, this is me. I'm here, to make sure we won't fight and touch each other and do mistakes for a stupid reason, right?" Um, and then he starts first corner side by side, got a little bit behind him, and then I was like, "Hey, that's me, Jasper. I'm here." And then it was Mika Yukumainen. I didn't know him, obviously. That was the
Crazy
first time.
legs.
But big guys, strong skater, coming out from the big league, the big hockey league in Finland, and he just came beside me and like, wow, mom, and then bumped me out. I was so weak, and by the time I was telling Jasper that I was right behind him, we didn't need to fight. I was already third way back behind. Like, I fell, tripped down, fell, tried to skate back, never made it. Um, long story short, that day KO won again. So he won both races that year, and then I think Mika made it on the podium that night as well. And then that was the start of a big and strong delegation from Finland, with R2, with Larry, Jusenlahti, Matthias Schens, who skated a bit
Yeah.
less than the other ones. I mean, for a shorter term, and Larry as well stopped a bit before, and then obviously about R2. R2 won the world championship in 2012.
Yep.
And yeah, so that was my first experiences the first year, and then I would jump over because there's anyway, how much I can talk when I start talking, but I'll try to make it short. But yeah, that was my last race, which I never raced, and this I don't wish that to any one of you guys or any athletes in the world. Um, it was obviously back home in Quebec again. We raced so that was the first year of the World Championship. First race was in Germany, in Munich. where Nifnaker won his first race, and then two races world championship. Then back to Quebec. I qualified second, right behind R2, and we had a good gap with the rest of the riders. So I was really confident, really like I was like, I will meet him late, and whenever anyway, I just need to draft, to get draft behind him all the way down, and he's gonna drag me to the finish line, and is all. Uh, and then on the Saturday morning, it was raining, so raining conditions make the track so slick, so fast, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I asked a few riders before going on the track to train, just to understand, hey, how is your feeling on the track, blah blah blah. Then I start really cruising down instead of, you used to attack the tracks, and then you used to jump and absorb and be, and then first jump, I just let it loose, so I got shot to the moon, overshoot the whole. So it was just a big roller, like 3 meters high, or even maybe a bit more. Like the trucks could go under, so I would say 50, yeah, 4 meters high probably. I just overshoot it and then slammed to the bottom on the other side of the flat, and did like the butterfly goalie position, like both knees
Ooh.
open like Bambi, and below my left knee, it snaps, and it was not the first time I snapped the knee, so I knew what happened.
Ooh.
I glided down all the way to the finish. The finish, I asked for medic. They sent me to medic tent, and then medic was like, well, it doesn't look good. It was like 7:30 in the morning, and I wanted to race. Obviously, in my mind, like I had a chance to fight for podium spot, right?
Yep.
And, like I can't give up on that. So let's not be stupid. Let's go to the hospital. Let's try everything I can to finally, like, I went to the hospital. The doctor was telling me, like, I can tell you this, I can tell you that, but I know you won't respect that. I know you want to race, so blah blah blah. And then I get back, and I called some physios. I was in as it was in my own town. I knew some physios and Kiro, not Kiro, but other guys who could tape me, and I got treatment all day long. Did a little nap. Then I woke up, get the taping guy, and I end up like walking straight leg, like taping, like it didn't make sense at all. And I geared up. I was prepared to go up on top to test it. I think at that time we had one training run before the show. The show starts on Saturday, and then a friend of mine who was working for Red Bull at the time, GP Villemaya, came to me, is like, hey man, what are you doing? You're not going up there. That's stupid what you're doing. It does not work. And I knew, but I didn't want to admit it. When he told me, I was like, fuck you. I don't want to do that, but this is so true. I smashed my helmet on the concrete block right by, exploded it, and throw it. And then walked away. And that was the end of my racing career, let's say it like that. So
Dang.
not embarrassing, but it's quite important moment still in my racing life, let's say it like this.
Well, it's not like you obviously went out that way, but it must have healed up now, because you're actually the test dummy for pretty much every track now. Like the RBIC chat, before like everyone gets there, the first thing of like the weekend, everyone's like, when's Pap testing it? When's Pap testing it? Because everyone wants to be on the track. Everyone wants to be on the track to watch him do his first couple runs, just to make sure what happens. And obviously, if Pap goes down at some areas, then some of us have to really keep an eye out. But how's it feel being the test dummy, I guess, for every track that you piece together?
That was always, it felt to me like a privilege. Being on my own on those beautiful pieces of ice, of pieces of art somehow for us, yeah. As well, knowing that everything needs to be doable, Yeah, because we can't. It's not like snowboard and motocross, for example, that you can reshape things when you try it once and okay, the kicker is too high, too kicky. We just chop it off and then we fly over instead. But in our game, it's not the case. We need to build it right, otherwise it's wrong the whole time that we have to race it. So um, and as well, when I'm bringing some new features, I need to do it first to as well commit and show that it's doable and it works. Yeah. So being up there on the start, first time, sometimes with friends like Claudio, we did a couple of times together. With Reed as well, we did a couple of times together. It's as well a good feeling to be on the track, like, or rhythm, and exploring the track and looking at this and that and how, and as well being able, obviously it's a first, how should that say,
It's a proud moment because you planned it, right? And now you're finally there. And
yes, true. But as well, I know it will be like the opening path of you guys coming. I know some of you are beside the track looking at how things are done, and then if it looks sketchy when I'm doing it, then it will definitely affect your mind. I mean, not that you'll be afraid or something, but like, we all comparing ourselves to what we can see. So when you're
exactly.
looking at Cameron, you have this perspective of what you can do compared to him, and when you're looking at Aussie, you as well look yourself and trying to find. No, but I mean,
No, you're correct, because if Aussie can do it, everyone can do it.
no words. Yeah, but no, but the style of the guy, how, what's your style, what's their style, how they can do things. Now you can do things compared to this style of this person. So obviously I was the first point of comparison in the equation. But as well, it was sometimes I was shitting my pants, man. Like, first time St. Paul, the 2 meters
drop?
gap.
That was
Oh
my
my
first
God.
track. I don't know why you did that. That was fucking terrifying.
Yeah,
That was
you're
nuts.
Fantastic.
But I still did it, but it's still stupid.
Yeah, but you did it, and the rest of the tracks then were
Oh, piece of
not
piss.
so
Yeah.
difficult.
Not a lie. Tracks these days, I think, getting a bit soft, Pap. You got to step your game back up.
But remember that drop? I was standing up there. Now remember, Cox was there with Chantal, and I think Guola was there as well. I'm not probably Derek, because Derek and Cox were almost married those years.
They were inseparable.
And I don't know, but there were few, and then I was looking it from up there, not knowing if it would make sense to me dropping. Like,
Yeah.
when you guys show up
Yeah.
at the top, even you guys were like, "What the hell?" And then even like, and no shame. I mean, no shame at all to start from the lower deck. A lot of people did, which I'm fully fine with. First time you need to feel comfortable with, but from my perspective, I couldn't do that, because if I dropped and just drop down from the lower deck, like I'm not showing the right example for like what's going to happen tomorrow.
Exactly.
So I was up there and I was like, and then those clowns were yelling at me down there with their phones on. Let's go Papillon, Space Planet, please, so we can get some likes on our Facebook. I was like, well, thanks. If you guys feels like you have pressure sometimes, like now I'm having pressure from you guys. But it was such as well a good feeling when I just dropped it and it works. I was like, wow, good relief.
My favorite start ramp to date.
It really is. It really is.
Cool. It was cool though, because it's just a perspective. Like it's a brain fuck that you have, that you like. But it's there. It didn't disappear. It's a structure. It's there. No one removed it from the time that you look it from it. you look at it from the bottom, it's still there. You just don't see it. So just jump. It's gonna be there. You're gonna, and it's even if you fell, it's so sweet because it's long and
It's very
and
forgiving,
it's
very
crazy.
forgiving. Just don't overshoot, because that's what I did. Do you land flat to that bad boy? It is not good. Like landing short's fine. Just don't land flat. There's like 2 stories, right? Just top to bottom, just straight down. It was far. Never again. Never again.
So it's always been and will always be a privilege to to ride the tracks that way. It's getting harder and harder because obviously like we talked already, the tracks technically raised like crazy over the years. But you guys are training and doing like now more than 10 races a year, and more 10 races a year. So your overall skills and capacity to adapt to what's coming, and as well your shape and you know physically how you train is as well really good. So for you, the challenge is there, but it's another challenge. For me, it's different because obviously, like I'm traveling here and there. We're all traveling, but I'm traveling here and there, and in between races, I'm going for location check for next season. I'm jet lagged like three times. You know what jet lags is doing on the body and as well in the mind. So, and then it comes to the point that on Thursday or Wednesday, I get on the track like full geared up. I didn't skate since a month since the last track testing, and then I need to test, or I need to test the track. You know, so sometimes in the last years, I have to say like I was not feeling like I didn't have a good feeling as much as I had before, where I was just riding the track. It was like, oh wow, that's cool, good feeling. Last year it was a bit more sketchy, at least in my mind. I guess from the outside as well, it looks sketchy. You know? But
well, that's just a testament to the production level. Like you said, I mean, us as athletes, we're always training every year. We're trying to get better and better. We're trying to be more adaptable to each track. As that has changed over the last 5 years, you have seen tremendous change and tremendous growth. As that production level starts to go up and advance from a 100 to a 250 to a 500, all the way to the 1,000, does your stress level tend to go up from production level?
I would say, nah, I didn't feel it that way. The question is, and the point is legit actually, but thing is over the years, you know, it all comes down to the production team at the end of the day, because what I'll do, I'll work with them like closely like that, obviously, um, in a way that over the years I learned a lot from what's possible technically or production wise, what should be and what should not be done. But as well, they learn a lot of what we look for as sports guys, as riders, how it needs to be. So if you look at clips 2009, 10 or before, all the ramps, everything was square like this, you know, bam bam bam. Now everything, like they put a lot of attention, a lot of time, a lot of material as well to make it round and smooth, because again, it's not built out of dirt and snow where you just shape it round. It's all made of scaffolding, which is, there's nothing more straight than scaffolding.
Scaffold and wood.
Bam,
Yeah.
poles, like, and then wood, but wood, what they do is they cut a lot to shape it round, and so I think what they achieve crazy good and well over the last 6-7 years. There was a drastic change from 2012, 13, and then till now, you know, from before.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Was that with Boston? They actually made specific scaffolding piping to get the curvature around certain parts, like.
True, yeah. You got it right on point. First time as well. The thing is, that's great, but then it means that next time you need to build the things with the same radius.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so it needs to fit with the speed, with the type of feature you want to put in a specific spot. It's quite hard, to be honest,
Yeah.
to determine it in advance that these pieces will be useful um, all the time, year after year, in all tracks. This is not like that. It's not how it works. You can not even like, if I know that we have these pieces with this radius, it's not that easy, and probably won't even work to use them back the very next year, um,
Right.
because of all the things that you need to consider. Like St. Paul, for example. Um, if you remember it, we're starting wherever, it depends of the year, but we start from the front. In the last year, we're starting from the front of the church, the
Yep.
cathedral. But a few years before, we were on the park beside, and the very first year we're beside the cathedral going. But then always we needed to go over the road in front, means
Yep.
we needed to build huge scaffolding that could allow ambulances, snow plow trucks, firefighters truck, all the securities, all these things. So sometimes we have to play with those restrictions and permission, which is like we're not even deciding what we're going to put there. We can just play. We only can play with what's coming in front and what's going to happen after. When we need to go that high for that length, and then we can play outside of that. Um, yeah. So, uh, but over the years, it changed a lot, and as well, what helped to make it, to me what make it way better, it's you guys, all the efforts that you guys put over the years to train, get better at it, and year after year, and that pushed us as well to get better on what we're doing, um, to to be on point, as well to be challenging and safe for the best, and the mid pack and the backpack as well, in all categories. So that was as well. This was more the challenge for the last years, I would say, as well. Like beginners, if a guy or girl qualified from a 250, it get invited to a 1,000. Like, yeah, welcome to the first 1,000 event, and hopefully you're prepared, because it's not gonna be a piece of cake. Um, even when you'll be on your own before you face other riders, right? So
Yep.
it needs to be always safe, and that was the first priority, while being challenging and feasible for all types of riders that will jump on the course. So, without being able to change anything when you finally test it. So that was our challenge. And like I said, over the years, the production team got better, and we got more and more people experimented as well on the prediction time side, so they could help to build things and support on site in the better way, as we had many production at the same time around the globe. So, um, uh, I think so. To answer straight your question, was obviously a bit more complicated to deal with, but due to the experimented teams, more experimented people on a production side on site, it helps a lot as well, with all the experience we had behind the scene, with everyone connecting, working. That we're a real team behind the scene. There's no way we can just do our things and don't care about what the others are doing, because then we go straight to the wall, and this would not have worked at all over those years. So it's yeah, big effort, good work for a lot of people behind the scene, and we really had a team. Like, we still obviously we still have our groups on WhatsApp, and chatting once in a while, and being nostalgic already after a few months.
Well, I mean, from 2012, which was, I mean, my first year, to last year, the production, the tracks, the features on the tracks have just blown our minds. Every year, we don't know what to expect. We show up. I mean, there's so much planning, like you said, that happens behind the scenes. There's so many things that you set out to do. You don't really know how it's going to work until the ice is laid. And it seems to just, it works out every time. You know, Friday night comes through where we have last chance qualifiers and juniors and women and time trials. And then everybody's got the question like, oh, the track's so beat up or the weather's not going to be great. Sure enough, Saturday comes around. You and the production team, you know, you put in the hours, you do the work, and all of a sudden we have this tremendous event that comes through Saturday night, which is what I think most of us as athletes are hooked on. It's the experience. It's being there from Tuesday to Sunday. It's the ups, it's downs. It's hashtag hurry up and wait. You know, it's literally the last 5 years to going. Actually, it's longer than 5 years. It's going from a track being made out of ice at a fish market to scaffolding tailored directly to Fenway Park at Boston. It's such a work of art. And I know just like Aussie, like we're just blessed to have the opportunity to do it. And moving forward in the next 5 years, like we already have backyard tracks happening. We have the one in the US here with Joe Schaefer. You have the one in Czech, the McKelly track, I think is how they say it. You have Levy, who was just the junior world champion. He's got a track in his backyard. So I think the sport is definitely moving in the right direction. I love to see where it's going. What do you see in the next 3 to 5 years for the sport?
Still, yeah. First, so this sport is growing because of the commitment of the riders. Is clear. Um, um, you guys are pushing the sport and pushing us to push ourselves as well to get somewhere bigger and bigger. So what we achieved over the last year, growing or putting in place the ATSX with the Mr. the President Stau, uh, as well with the different national federation. Uh, that helps definitely already to grow and stabilize the sport. Is as well we have to be smart in the way it's growing because you don't want to grow too fast and then crash at some point because the structure is not solid enough.
Yep.
I think at the moment the sports structure like it is, like the series, the categories, I think it makes sense at the moment. Um, what we need to do is definitely stabilize um, the actual let's say the actual amount and location where we have races, and as well we need to get more local tracks, training, and environment facilities, even though they're not like public open for public like you mentioned, uh, but if those guys can bring their national writers or their friends, and this will help definitely. What the Schaefers did is tremendous, as well as I didn't hear about Levi, but congrats to him. The Lagos as well, what they built out of wood for training. Everybody's going there. Everybody's invited. Um, um, as well, who did Ferguson's did a few years back.
Yeah, I think they did. Yep.
Yeah, there's good footage from that. Yeah, but all these things are good, and definitely the strength, and it will be the roots and the strength of the sport. Like if people in different countries, if the French Federation now is working hard, developing good stuff as well with the national federation, like the already existing. La Fédération Française de Sport sur Glace, which is a French Federation of Ice Sport, or if you translate it word by word, right? Um, so yeah, there's a lot going on. What is the future? There's a lot, like I said, we're working on a lot. Stau's working on a lot at the moment. It's gonna be a hard season, a hard year for our sport, but as well for many sports, many leagues around the globe. You see even major leagues of sports, major sports are in trouble at the time. I think we have this good side as we can survive this as we are because we can afford a small season. Let's say it like this.
Hmm.
Those big sports with big contracts, TV contracts, or players contracts and whatever renting arenas contracts or whatever, like all these expenses, like they will have a lot of troubles to survive. We can, if we all agree together to put a hold and do everything we can when there's a race, we can go there and then race and obviously follow the local rules, the country rules, or whatever about restrictions or whatever. This will help us to go through, and we're already working on the future from there. I think this is already the first steps to do for the future. There was as well discussion. It's not a surprise for you guys. It's been talked already about going to the OG. Um, let's see now if this storm is hitting somehow this plan, or if it goes on, and if it does. I think they have now bigger problems than uh, than fixing or importation or entry into the OGs. But
Hmm.
and hopefully for them they can fix all this situation for Tokyo, which is has been postponed. Hopefully it's all good for them and all athletes as well. I was so sad for those athletes who trained for 4 years, and some who finally made it, maybe for the last time, maybe for the very first time, but their last opportunity because of their age window or whatever reason why, that they can or they could or they maybe lost their opportunities to go there. This is so and so OGs have big things to deal with, and these athletes as well. Hopefully, they can all go through their games and perform as good as they expected. And and I think that we go through it as we, that's funny because you just explained that all the tracks that you've been through, you you show up there, you're not sure temperature, this features that, and at the end you riders are making through the tracks, making through the whole weekend, whatever conditions we're facing, you're facing. And then Saturday, for me, I see it the opposite way, but the results is the same. For me, from the outside, I'm so satisfied to see the Saturday going well for everyone. Good racing, uh, good fighting. Obviously, sometimes upsets. Obviously, sometimes mistakes here and there. Fair battles, unfair battles, but it's part of sport and emotions that comes with it. But everything goes well at the end. We're passing through those kind of whatever we have to face at some point, and we get through it, and we have good results at the end. And this is what I expect from where we're standing right now, for everyone, but as well for us, our riders, our sport, and our future. It's
That, I
our
mean, you answered it perfectly, honestly. And I was actually going to ask you about the big juicy question that everybody, I mean, even current riders have even reached out to Aussie and myself for, is to ask if 2020 is actually going to possibly have a season. But I mean, as we all know, there's already rumors going across in the Red Bull chat of potential races, but still everything is up in the air pending this stupid virus.
there is
So
there is there is efforts on the field in different countries. There is will, there is capacity to pull and put race on. Um, uh, we're working on something. Hopefully, we can all put that together, and everybody who's working on something can make it happen. Um, there's a lot of effort as well. from the high instance of the federation with doctors and people who can help to make it, let's say, COVID proof. But as well, there's things which are out of our hands, like rules from countries. Not only about traveling, but as well like how many people can be in one area or out close or out, So but still there is, I can tell you, there's things going on. There will for sure be things that will happen, but then
Exactly.
who will be able to reach and how and when, this is the point at the moment. But yeah, everybody's working to make something happen for everyone.
We gotta roll with the punches. Aussie, now before I technically get to our last little section here before signing off, do you have any specific questions that you wanted to ask Pap while we got him on?
I really do, but I feel like Pap just has so many stories because he's been in this for so long. I really would just want to kind of see if we can invite him back in another half a dozen episodes or something just to hear more, because there is so much more that's happened just outside of Ice Cross. So I don't want to have everyone just hanging on for that little bit longer here. So Pap, if you're
why don't we do that one for like 4 hours? I'm good.
Because people don't watch this for 10 minutes. They're not watching it for 4 hours.
But
you
listen to Rogan for 3 hours.
You got a good point. But we're not Joe Rogan, so I guess. But like, because you've done plenty of things. Like there's that fantastic session you did in Japan with the frozen skate park, which I want to hear so much about. But I also don't want to hold you too much longer because we do have a few more things to get across. I know Marco has definitely put a question to us that he begged us to ask you, because it is one of his favorite things.
It's now 10:30.
Well then, all right then. Well, fuck it then on that one. The Japanese frozen ice track, like the skate park.
Yeah.
How did that come around? And is that one of your favorite events you've ever put on?
Experience, skate park, something. So yeah, well, I need to start 1 year or almost 2 years before that. So when so it was 2013, right? The first year of that in Japan, Sapporo. So up north in Hokkaido area, which is on another island, northern island of Japan. I started with a friend of mine, which I always did my good and bad bad moves. Let's say it like this. We know each other since like now 30 years or something. And he got a farm, we got a big land. That's where if you as well heard about me having a training tracks at some point, it was on his land as well. I think interesting mention here, 400 meters long track, 60 meters elevation.
Ooh.
But a fun one.
Damn.
And then
where's the invite? What the?
I'm living on Ile d'Orléans, so the island right by. When you were in Quebec, if you took time outside of racing and nightlife, if you took time to look at what's around Quebec City, there's an island close by. He's living on that island. They got land.
Must
like
be nice.
A lot, huge land coming from the middle of the island, going all the way down to the Saint Laurent River, and then we use a part of it to build our track. And then that's with him actually, where when I was riding, I built the track to train, and he's as well playing hockey, but not a good skater enough to make the tryout and make it to the real tracks. So for him, it was just good opportunity so we worked together to make it happen, so he could have as well his fun on the track like that. Is actually a real good action sport guy. He competed on the national level in motocross. Really good rider as well, snowmobile racer, and so he loved that kind of thing. And so we worked together, and obviously, and I did as well organize motocross races for a few years. It was with another friend, and Gaetan was also always helping us as well. So always involved in building stupid and good things. Um, and when we while building those things, those tracks, we had like, I don't know, it took like 400 to 500 hours. We were only two guys working on those.
Oh
um
my God.
so it means not only spraying but as well shoveling when it was snowing, obviously. Only two guys, like stupid dumbass in the mountain, shoveling like crazy. And then we were talking about what then is our next stupid plan, and or like, why don't we try skating ball, like, like snowboard, skateboard, free skiing again, like with all the friends we're hanging out with. Um, and we decide to dig a bowl in his backyard, or in somewhere on his land, right? So we took the digger in October, dig a hole, put a drain with electric wire to warm it up so the drain could work the whole winter, and then we could spray the walls of the bowl when when cold comes in, and then we thought about it, and then we decided to do it in, I think it was 2012. So in 2011 we prepared us the setup, and then winter, like January 2012, we start spraying, uh shoveling the snow out. There's no tools other than, like, oh, you're stuck in the bowl, so just get the snow out of it. And yeah, and then that was the year where I didn't have to train to be fit. um
That's all the cardio
and
you need, just digging a big hole, right?
now I got more experience and I'm lazy, so I got tools to do things for me. So, um but yeah, so we did the bowl, and then we raised this drop in, we raised the wall, other plywood here and there. And then I talked with Red Bull International, which I was working with already at the time, and explained them that, hey, this is our idea. Okay, yeah. And then I brought I brought in friends of mine, which are still doing clips, like high quality clips, and they did a clip with music and stuff about it. Then I could present it to Red Bull International, and then they work it out, and they flew us to Japan to make it happen in Hokkaido, because then Red Bull Japan bought the idea.
So cool.
And then yeah, first time was downtown Sapporo. Uh, it was the same concept, a bowl with a drop in with actually different features around. Invited Killian, Phil Poirier,
Hmm.
which is a good friend of mine who won X Game gold medal in free skiing back in the days. One of the
Wow.
pioneer of the sport, and who could help as well in both. It was a good friend as well of Gaetan, my friend, who flew as well with me to build the setup out there. So we tried to bring people who could work and perform as well. And in the bowl, we brought actually, in the testing year of that bowl in on the island, we brought a free skier, we brought a skateboarder, we brought an inline guy. Um, we brought what else? Um,
Anybody who could try it, huh?
but different type of sportsmen, from like freestyle, but good in their discipline.
Yeah.
So I think we were six or something like that. Anyway, and then we find out that maybe these type of guys are better. Like the free skier who can skate, they're good. They're like,
Mm,
you can see like Killian is good. Derek was good.
Coxie.
Um, yeah, Cox is as well. But he was not there that year. But then the next year we went to a ski resort. It works quite good, but then in town it was always on the edge, like around 0, -5. So we need to build everything out of natural ice at -5, which was a real challenge.
Yeah.
And then the afternoon, the day of the event, it was like 8, 10 degrees, full sun hitting one side of
Oh,
the bowl. We covered it with tarps, but still destroyed a part of it. So in the evening anyway we did the event. It works. The guys didn't ride that part. Works quite good. Was interesting, but then we learned from it. And then next year we've been to a mountain, Onze was called, the ski resort there.
Hmm.
Then we built quite a setup, like um, a quarter pipe, almost like 17 meters long quarter pipe, starting from.
Just fantastic. The guys actually just smash with the setup. Like they make it look like it's not even hard, but if you've done some big jumps on ice skates, you know that landing that shit is not easy.
Well, and like you said, they're still posting those videos today. They're awesome videos to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. And then that was basically what in a short term or a few years later, we brought the freestyle into ice cross events where these guys could perform. But obviously, like I'm always saying, these guys can do way better and way better, because it's like motocross freestyler doing freestyle on the F1 track, you know.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
How can you do, like, you do willy and nose willy, and that's pretty much what you can do. So these guys now, with the skills they have, and as well, like those who were like with Jojo and with those guys who went to the Cirque du Soleil for a few years.
Yep.
If we now build like a full real skate park or freestyle ice skate park, I think these guys will throw a lot of good stuff.
I do want to say though, on that freestyle side, one of the best little additives you guys did have would have been in like the last Yokohama race, starting to use some of that the artificial ice for ramps and everything. Really kind of just turned a racetrack into something that you could really get a bit more, freestyle and style out of. So that was like, because none of us had seen it. None of us had seen that ramp put on there before. And then like come Friday night, we're like, what the fuck is sitting on the track right there? And they'll just hit it. We're like, why have we not seen that before? That's so just genius.
Yeah, it was. We were. If I'm. It's been years that we're thinking about it. Thing is, we need to find the good location to make it happen, because it's not easy everywhere. And as well, we need to build a setup that you can mount and dismount in few minutes, because we're live on TV, so it's during a break, a TV break, so it needs to be like short amount of time. If we're wasting time there, then maybe we're late for the live program or something. So that's why it took, like, it's been years. Obviously, we're thinking about it and trying to make it happen. Sometimes we even start building things and then we give up because we had emergencies or other things to fix or to build around the track. So but yeah, that's definitely cool to be able to bring real kickers or real good radius and kick for them. But as well, again, if we build a specific freestyle setup, this would be just mind-blowing, I guess, because they pulled a lot of crazy tricks in a racing track over the last years. That was crazy.
I was trying to say one request though. Saturday morning practice, can we have some of those ramps placed on just so we can dick around for a little bit? Because that'd be so much fun.
Well, maybe we'll think about it.
Because like I said, we all know the guys that go out there and do too many rounds on a Saturday morning are fucked by like race night. So everyone kind of goes out and has a little bit of fun. It might be fun, just I'd like to send it a little bit more. Yeah, airtime's the best part of racing.
But I mean, with those freestyle guys, you're obviously getting some of the best footage that Red Bull can have too, right? Because you see some of those clips get passed around via the actual Red Bull accounts and those flips and the flares, and they look so good with the lights and the backdrops that we have. And it's so unique and so cool. But going on kind of that topic of clips, this is a question from Marco Delago specifically for you. So we've had the Riders Cup Choice Awards for the last couple of years now. Is there a video that you like or that sticks out in your mind that you remember from past Riders Award show that you would like to share with us? And is there a category that you want to see in the future?
Actually, at first, I think that's really cool that there's finally something like that happens. It's interesting because it gets every part of the game somehow into the award. So the serious part where there's good achievement or congrats to these people for this and that, but as well there's the funny part of it where obviously, I mean, the intensity of the start gate, for example, or the crashes which are part of the or the interviews, that these things are funny, and they're funny as well, and even more internally because we know the characters which are involved, and there's the behind the scenes stories, and there's the personality of each of us, and then some, so, and there's even like over the years, like legendary calls, like just happy to be here, for example, that lasts and will last forever. And I'm sure that already there's people saying it that don't even know where it comes from. It comes, and that's the cool thing about it, I think. What images? Yeah, well,
I mean, at least for me, I know on past episodes, I've always said the one, like you said, the starting gate faces was a video that stuck out in my mind. The Jack Schramm Nut Cup video, for some reason, is burned into my brain, and I can't forget that.
That's not
one.
a good burn, though. That's just
that's a bad
burn. Like, it's got a Schramm. You got a good ass, but still, like, I didn't want to see it like at that time of the day.
What's the one you preferred, Aussie?
Oh, I called out the one where we called
not
out
the one that you're involved in.
The other one I've been involved in was the shoey. But yeah, the one I called out was where we caught the girls on the side of the track there, the old yeah.
I believe they call that best game face.
Of everyone in the crowd. Just how did you unfortunately get caught on camera at that one exact point?
That's crazy. I was in the Obi event. It was live. I was like, and then the program guy was like, what? And they rolled back on the side TV just to see really what really happened. Wow. Well,
what happens in St. Paul stays in St. Paul. That's what I hear.
No one can read on her lips to really understand what she's talking about, right?
Nope. I still know to this day. I don't even know what that gesture means.
Yeah, so
I think she just wanted ice cream, isn't it? Just
probably.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. I absolutely love those Choice Award videos, though.
Yes.
They truly add to the sport, and it's something I look forward to at the end of every season. That's for sure.
And who knows? Maybe in 10 years, you guys will be sitting in a major theater in LA to get your trophies back out there, or
No. I much prefer that government office in Ottawa. That was fun.
That was so
cool.
You know what? Actually,
UN.
one that just popped into my head was the lookalike videos, and we had Fabian Mells there, and he looked just like Prince Charming from Shrek.
Oh, the pictures. Yeah. And that's that. We totally lost the trace of Fabian, right?
Yeah, and actually, I think
we chatted at Marco about that.
Marco, and who's our other German guy?
Which one?
The guy that you don't want to get into a car with.
Redliff. Doesn't really narrow it down.
Redliff. He's like, yeah, dude, Fabian just kind of walked off the face of the earth. Haven't heard from him.
It's from Belgium.
Or Belgium. Yeah.
Geez, you don't even know the competitors, TJ. What are you doing? I thought you said you researched for this show. What's wrong with you?
Again, we're the most professional at being unprofessional. You realize that.
You got a point there. You definitely got a point there.
So is it what was your worst road trip with, or stories, or
Oh my God. I thank God never had a road trip with him, but I'm pretty sure Aussie had a hell of a time with Redliff.
Yeah, my
And
first
and
season,
and owing some money, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah,
Oh,
like
really?
my first season, we drove from Sherbrooke to Duluth, and it was so funny because we were going through Chicago, and he loved there's two movies he loves. He loves Titanic and he loves Backdraft. So we had to stop at the town that the dude from Titanic was from and take a photo there. But then we were in Chicago and we're driving into Chicago, stop to grab some fuel, and they're just the people at the servo like, oh, you're not from around here, like have a bit of a chat to them, like, oh yeah, cool, like to have fun in Chicago, just don't get stuck in this part of town after dark. So what's he do? He gets lost in that part of town after dark, trying to find the firehouse that the movie's about. And I'm just like, fuck, we're gonna die. Oh my god.
South side of Chicago.
Send
Yeah.
a strange text message to your mom
Oh
while
no, none of us had data that worked in America. We're not that smart.
special message with someone you never shared with, or
Oh, it was a time. But yeah.
tell us about that message. Tell us about the message you wrote.
Oh, there's no message sent because I'm like I wasn't smart enough to get data to work in there because I was like, I'm only gonna be here for a few weeks. I don't need a SIM card. So my folks would have just seen some like, oh, some Australian guy's gone missing in South Chicago.
That wouldn't get much coverage at all.
My folks just been like, oh yeah, he's probably gotten the beers to it again. It happens. It's fine.
What's his tab up to now, Aussie? What's he?
No,
owe you?
he's a good kid. He's carried up all that.
Oh,
Yeah, no, he's a good guy now.
I see what you're doing here.
He's caught up. But again, like that's the thing with the sport. The sport is so expensive sometimes that like you will literally drive yourself into debt just to do it. And it's so stupid of a thing to do, but that feeling on the track is like nothing you'll ever experience anywhere. So like I'll just say it was a bit shitty, but I completely understand to where he came from because obviously I've run myself into debt for it. It's not like I really get paid to go. I don't really finish well enough to get paid for this sport. I honestly just do it because I just fucking love being out there. And yeah, like being in that start ramp on race night and you look out and you just see the crowd and you're like, fuck, I hope I don't fall over in front of everyone here. And what you do, you fucking eat shit in front of everyone and you get back up and you laugh at yourself because you're like, well, shit happens, I guess. There's always next week. Always next week.
But traveling in these circumstances or in this way is as well part of it, and is as well something you grow and learn a lot from, right? Isn't it?
Yeah,
exactly. Yep. I mean, the traveling experiences, the people I've met from around the world, competing in a sport I never thought I'd have the chance to compete in after watching it on some crazy video. Yeah, again, I wouldn't change it for the world. And I mean, to know nowadays where if I need to go to Canada, I have friends and basically family that I can stay with. If I go to Estonia, I can stay with the weird Taru guy out there. So, I just absolutely love it. And again, wouldn't change it for anything.
And you needed to change your phone so many times because your storage is all
yeah.
Your storage is full of pictures from videos from as well good things that you want to send to your mom, but as well not so good things that you don't want to from the last party or something.
I've seen enough of Shane Renault to never have to see that man again.
Which I do have to say on that remark, people won't quite know what we're talking about, but we're going to have Shayna on here at some point soon. Very well done to what happened in Ottawa with his jersey. Was that a part of your organized, like your kind of dealings there, or because you guys stole his jersey and changed his jersey number into the old who organized that one?
I don't know. I'm not aware of that. Don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Spoken like a true boss right there.
We're a team,
Well, I do have to apologize to our good friend Ice Cross Jerry. It looks like we actually ran out of time. We were going to have him on after the fact. Maybe we'll have an opportunity to get him on for episode 13. Obviously, I Scratch Jerry, just get your people to talk to our people and we'll make it happen. But seriously, Pap, I want to thank you for joining us. I know you're a very, very busy man. You're obviously the sport director. So this episode was basically a very, very important episode for Aussie and myself. And we truly thank you for popping on with us.
Yeah, anytime. I mean, I'm happy, and you guys make it easier for me and for us to your commitment again, your passion, the way you're training and developing yourself to develop the sport as well. I mean, that's the reason why as well we're thriving and grinding to push and get the sport further. You do so well your side of the story that we have to do as well. Really good on our side. So thanks to all of you guys. Thanks to the two hosts of the day, or the day next day. I don't know.
And Sunday. Awesome.
And whenever we can. I don't know if you have we can go deeper into interesting stories or or whatever else in another
I definitely want to get you back on
episode. Would be a pleasure to get back with you and share about the serious stuff and the less serious stuff too.
You've been in the sport for so long. There's just so many stories there. I'd definitely love to grab you on again whenever we can get a chance. So I know it's starting to pick up, but we're like technically picking up around season time. So obviously as things happen, we'll find out. But yeah, I'm pretty sure we'll if we don't catch you again here, we'll be doing something live at a track. We'll have to get something going. It'd be fantastic to chat. If we could sneak you away, because I know around race weekends you are very sleep deprived and run around like a chicken without a head. So
and very very busy with all those riders briefings.
Yes, true.
So I just have to ask: are the briefings like the low light of your day? Because you
love them or hate them?
Yeah.
No, actually, I would always it's super important. This is clear. This is the most important things of the day. It's not a big part of the day time wise. It takes usually between 10 to 30 depends. I mean, obviously the first of the season but then let's say 30 minutes, but still it's not the biggest part of the day, but it's definitely something important. I know most of the time half of it is the same as I already talked about before, but again, like the way we build the track is the same way. I need to explain things for the newcomers to make sure it's the same, but I know for guys which are on the tour since years now,
it's those class clowns.
60 times you hear the same thing. But anyway, but maybe even after 60 races, maybe that's the first time you really understand what I'm saying. I would never give up on that, but I mean, no, it's never a pain to do those, even though sometimes it looks like I'm just running to do it and then running to go somewhere else. But it's definitely a big and important task of the day, every day of the weekend. And for some of you, that's the only moment that I have to meet you. So
very true. Very true.
Which is sad as well. I mean, on one side, I'm working for the sport, for the athletes, for you, and not so much on a daily all day long on a together closely with you, but behind the scene is what I'm doing, is working for you guys, for you riders, trying to facilitate, even though it will always be like that. Hurry up to wait. There's no other way, and it's not because we want it like this. It's just because we need to start at some point, and then it always be like this, that no one will really rush to be there on time. So and then
you're telling us that there's never ever been a time where you've been mad at the riders and have just been like, nope, you guys can hold on for the next half hour.
Yeah. And then, but we have what we control is on the sports side is the sport side of it. I mean, us organization like referees, logistic crew, and then the writers. But then there's a lot as well. Like you can see sometimes we're there, and then there's a guy's finalizing, screwing something. Is it the guy to be blamed? Probably not. There's someone who asks something at some point, which falls down to that moment where he was not planned to be there, but he needed to finalize something that someone else asked for. But so there's a lot of, but yeah, like I said, it will most probably be like that. It will not happen at the 1000, but if then soon we met again, and we need to race all three together at some point.
I will happily do a GoPro run with you, Pap, if you're willing to put yourself against probably one of the worst skaters and one of the better skaters in the sport.
We'll have to have a cup of Red Bull, all three of us down the track with a can of Red Bull, see who makes it down at the most in there.
Yes, and maybe we drop some on the champion of that race, like you guys used to do at the race.
Yeah.
Last time I raced was in Afton Alps. And I didn't feel comfortable with it because I was at the time sport director, and Reed called me. I went there on, I don't know, like the day before the race or something like that. I went to the track and to look what was happening. That was the first Riders Cup. So that's why I went there to see how they build things and to learn from, and to make sure, obviously we would do mistakes at the first year and different, and then to learn from that and make sure we could get better from the first one. But they did a crazy good job already at the very first one. Congrats to that team. And then Reed called me Friday evening, said tomorrow I think they were, was it 128 already or 64? I think it was 64.
Yep.
But there was only 61, let's say, something like this. They said, hey, I want to fill the matrix, so I put you in. Okay, but I didn't ride the track at all. Zay, you're gonna have a training run, and okay. And then I did my training run. Then I get at the gate with the three others. I'm like, like it was only a few years after I stopped, so I was still quite okay. Decent able to ride the track. So I'm at the start gate and like, okay, I think I can beat those guys, and I can at least two of them, and I can advance. That's what happened in the first meters. I drop out, even I was first, and then didn't push too hard, but still I was skating, and then the second one came close. He passed me. I was like, still. Then I was like, this is always what I thought. But when you're at the gate, you don't care about what you think. You just want to get in the finish and win or do the best you can. And then I really get back to my inner feelings as being sport director. It's zero fair to stall if it's even 1 point to a rider. I don't need those points. I don't need those.
Yeah.
So I didn't brake to let them go, but I really stood up and slowed down in the roller section, and then they passed, and I was like, oh yeah, you're right, man. Congrats to those guys. And
these sound like excuses for the reason you didn't win that heat. So I think if you can get me, and TJ into a lap, no holding back now, buddy. It's just we'll just go. Yeah.
Will be no points on the line, so no worries.
No points. Just a carton of bear at the end of the track. Loses pay.
So you won't have any reasons to end up behind me.
Yeah.
So no worries.
What are you talking about? You'll be behind me, buddy. What are you talking about? For once, I'll be in front of somebody.
Now you'll be in front of me because I'll skate backwards when I cross the finish line.
You two can battle it all you want. I'm already going to be at the finish line when you two get there.
TJ, I'm going to trip you on the stop gate. There's no rules. Fuck you.
Hey, you know what? Knowing me, I'll pull what I did in Japan and I'll just fall out of the start gate. So
I need to restart training soon. Huh?
Yeah, Pap's gonna come up just absolutely swole, ready to just destroy us all.
not even gonna stand a chance.
No. So do you miss racing, Pap? Like, I know it must be hard. Like, you watch it every time, and like you see the energy and the excitement. Do you miss being in that Stargate on race night?
Yeah, at the very beginning, like the first years, and like I explained, like how I end up my career, let's say like this. Yeah, definitely I was missing that racing feeling, and especially like my last race feeling. I never had that race. Never like I don't know, but the day you're gonna stop, because unfortunately someday you need to stop. Hopefully, I hope you guys you can decide when that day will be, and not like ending up your season and then for whatever reason you can't start over the next season, and then you're like, shit, I'm missing it. You know, I'm missing something. I didn't decide that. I'm a victim somehow of. So that's and I was in between the thrill of, wow, that's amazing to be now a sport director, making things happen, working for what's happening, not taking the credit on my own, like I always share, like together with people, but being part of that team, making things happen, but as well missing at the same time racing, being at a start gate, like, you know, like, maybe being part of the emotions that start gate video from Marco, but missing this feeling, definitely for many years it's been like that. I think not that it's not like that anymore, but over the years it switched into like, I'm riding through you now. Like I'm there and
You're a proud parent.
yeah, exactly. I can't pretend I'm your biggest fans individually. Like I'm behind every single one who showed up at gate and want the best for every one of you all the time. Like this is what I have, and I'm so happy. Even though like obviously there's only one winner per race, so yeah, but you are happy when you achieve something that you has as a goal, you had at a goal in your mind before it starts, or you achieve your personal best, or you beat that guy, or you achieve to double that jump, or this is things that you're living for, because there's only one winner, so otherwise everybody else will cry and go back home and never come back, right? So I'm there analyzing, seeing, looking over the years, over the races, what you guys are doing, what you guys are achieving, and I'm there. I'm talking about it. I got goosebumps. It's like for me, it's where I got my thrills now. Like,
yep.
I know anyway. And at the time as well, I felt like physically I could still fight for good positions. Now I know that I'm out of, like, there's no way I would fight for good positions, because what we talked before, right? Like, you guys train so hard, increase the level of athleticism that you brought in the game, and that brought the level of the tracks as well rising, and then going like this. So I'm far way behind to race. So my brain settled down on the feeling, or the will to come back to competition. And that I'm a competitive guy, so I'm competing in whatever I have around in me in life.
Yep.
So obviously I would like to compete, but I as well, maybe that part of my brain is smart enough to understand that I will never be able to fight you guys anymore. So there's nothing for me to gain there, because my switch of competing will be destroyed by that, because I will not be able to compete at all. So but like, yeah, so this is where I get my feelings now, like those so cool races, those fights, those close competitions. So this is now what thrills me, what I get my emotions from, and I'm sitting in the Obi van and I'm just shouting, people are working like, you know, they're on make a live product, like crazy good live product, and I'm just into it like to the bones, you know. So
Yep.
that's where I get my feeling. So no, I would not race anymore. And then I'll get, when you gonna show that episode, I'll get some text message from Jasper, from other writers, former writers, tell me, hey, Pappy, just start the freaking senior
Yeah.
category.
Start a
There
senior
you
league.
You
go.
can fight, you can compete again. But I guess it's lame. I guess it, like there's no show to get from that. After juniors, after women, after you men category, like there's nothing to see. Like for us, it would be like, you know, I don't know, like tractors race after a F1 race. You know,
It's
yeah,
going to be that Hall of Fame race.
yeah, maybe one time, you know, but not something that goes on and on and on. If
No,
it's like
it'll be like an all-star event.
yeah, like something like just once in a while, one, like it will be appealing, it will be interesting maybe. So but then if you know if you go overseas and like, yeah, no one cares about who's 52 and winning a world
Yeah.
championship against the 47th and the 45th guy, you know.
Until we get to the Olympics.
So that's how it went. Sorry, I didn't.
Until we get to the Olympics, that's when everybody will care.
Well, yeah, let's see. But yeah, but you know, for me anyway, there's you know, we'll get, or the first eras guy like Jasper, like I would even put R2 in like, there is now an era, and there was, in my mind, it's hard to define the previous one, like the first years of the world championship and the last year of the non-championship one. To me, like R2 was by far the most dominant rider at that time, and then before it was, so those eras, maybe there's something to do, like I don't know, but like
Yeah.
Hall of Fame, whatever, somewhere, you know, if they're like the permanent tracks will start to rise here and there in the world, and one organization hopefully can as well achieve to get like a Hall of Fame or something like that, where you find the skates of Jasper Felder, like the leather soft skates back in the 1940, you know, it was
Going to be a Smirnoff Ice drinking by Aussie Crasher.
no, but
Pap's beer smelling skate hanging down there still.
I got a few boxes of those old stuff, and I'm sure that the seniors as well kept few things. So yeah, but this would be fun. Like maybe the opening, you know, like there's a story, like the opening of the Hall of Fame becomes with Hall of Famers race or whatever, you know. But I like really, or maybe it's. But it's not something thrilling or for public. I don't think that's the way we're gonna bring fans into the sport, or
Nah, not yet.
Even kids into the sport. I think you guys are doing a tremendous job to bring new, interesting or interested people and interested kids into the sport. So don't need the whole farts like us.
Well, you got to start somewhere, and without you guys, we wouldn't be where we are today. So again, we thank you.
We're all in the same boat.
You got to be young and dumb before you can become old and wise, is what I've been told.
And then take care of the young and dumb again.
I just learned something right there. Holy shit.
Oh my God. Well, seriously, Pap, thank you again. You know, we obviously have so many stories to go through in the future. So we look forward to hosting you again. You can catch myself on social at Auby1987. You can catch the Aussie there at Aussie Crasher. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel at AubyNAussie. If you have any business inquiries, any ideas for future episodes, hit us up at AubyNAussie@gmail.com. But for episode 12 here, it's your favorite Ice Cross Ginger and Aussie signing off. And until next time,
It's all downhill from here.
cheers.
Cheers, boys.